最悪。全然違うの出しちゃった。あ、ちょっと待って。読み込みに失敗する。あれよしよしよしよし。うわやれやれ。どうなった僕の華麗な逆張り。見た？まあまあ、所定、ジャブ打ってみたけど、ついてこれる僕のこの逆張りのスピードに君たち。結構高度だから気をつけて、振り落とされないように気をつけてほしい、本当に。コアモコンタルト、箱春町、スーパーテイサイサモナーのむむいみ逆張り、アニモ逆張りでございます。もう生まれてこの方僕逆張りしかしたことなくて、なんか初めて習った言葉逆張りだし、義務教育で逆張りしか受けたことないし、逆張り大学首席卒業だから、逆張り大学、逆張り学部、逆張り学科卒業、首席卒業よろしくお願いします。ちなみに、逆張り国家の総理大臣です、僕。うん。よろしくね。逆張りでミンティア食べながらやっていくから、本当に。そう、剣を握ったままでは逆張りできないし、逆張りのスピードについてこれないし、僕は多分何回生まれ変わっても逆張りに恋をするんだと思う。よろしく、やっていこう。ザ・スタンレイ・パラブル。ウルトラデラックスということでね。まあデラックスなんかお得ということでやっていきましょう。これでね、今配信見てるから僕。配信見てる画面を見ながら配信見てる、画面を見ながら配信見てる画面を見て、画面を見ながら画面を見てるから、ちょっとこうなっちゃってるけど気にしないでね。この前のスチームオータムセールで買ったものになりますからね。よろしくお願いしますね。全国大会で優勝します、僕。最後、対戦相手が記憶喪失になって、じゃあ僕負けるんだ、全国大会で。対戦相手が記憶喪失になって、重心無垢になって、五冠を奪って、よし、勝てるって思ったら今まで対戦相手と戦った人たちが、日本中から集まってきて、その対戦相手の記憶を蘇らせちゃって、で、最後対戦相手に、ねえ、逆張りって楽しいじゃんって言われて、僕負けるの。僕は逆張りを楽しいと思ったことはなくて、勝つための逆張りしかしたことなかったんだけど、対戦相手は逆張りを楽しんでるってことを知って、僕はもうそこね、はぁーって感銘を受けて、まあ、負ける、坊やに負けたね。年下にムカつく、悔しい、絶対許さねえ。やっていこう。クリックするとスキップします。これはスタンリーという名の男の物語。スタンリーは大きなビルの会社で従業員死にだ。なんか暗いじゃん。自分の影がパソコンに映ってる。アモンリー。他の人にとっては魂が単純作業を永遠にやってたんだ。スタンリーが幸せならいいんじゃない？
And then one day something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting.
スキップしちゃった。 これリアルタイムだ。これ今、12時、そんなことなかった。やばい。何やかく、エラカンド。なんか言おうかも、これ。I hate on days。指令が来ないから、ちょっと様子を見てみよう。あった。あ！ちょっと酔うな。これ。中心に赤十字を表示。クオリティを下げて、中心に赤十字 WASD、ジャンプ、インタラクト、しゃがむ、オートウォーク。これ下あるじゃん。これレティクルね。これやん。これにして、こうしよう。お。よし、やってこう。おー！これや！ワイの求めてたわ。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
おそらく彼は
No matter how hard Stanley looked,
同
he
僚た
couldn't
ち
find
の
a trace of his co-workers.
でもさ、これタイムスリップしちゃったんじゃない？だって、鉛筆削りしか置いてないってことはさ、波平の机と一緒ってこと？あ。I hate Monday を。少しゲームをつってありがとう。大きくするでー。どう？ふう。パーテッド。あ、ついてるやんか。あ。
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
役割で小さい。あ！ちょっと、ちょっと待って。ちょっとさ、やだ。悔しい。ちょっとやろう。一回やろう。はい。ちょっとゲームを少し大きいかもですって言って。ね、ゲームを少し大きいかもですって言って。なんか時間進むの早くね？入れたもん、そう減らそう。ゲーム音、これぐらいでいいかな？ゲーム音ちょっと大きいかもです。ゲーム音少し大きいかも、ゲーム音。うるせえ！もっと大きくしてやるよ！ゲーム音なんてな、鼓膜が破れるぐらいがちょうどいいんだよ。おい、どうだ？逆張りか、これが！どうですかこれ、いけてます？いい感じの逆張りできてる、これ。Be my Valentine。で、ティクルも少し大きいかもです。うるせえ！じゃあ、レティクルは、不透明にしてやるよ！おい！お前のせいで、レティクルが不透明になったんだからな。責任持ってやりなよ。ああ、レティクル不透明恐怖症の人がいるかもしれないのに、かわいそう。君がやったんだ。いわば君はデュークだ。僕がキラー。わかったか？おは 入れる。
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door
いけない
on his left.
なんて言ってた？左？僕は真ん中を行く。真ん中のドアを肉弾で突き破るのが一番早いんだよ。ハンターハンターで習わなかったのか？なんか道があるはず。デスクトップ押せでかくね？いや、入らないから。あ、なんかいっぱい。No, seriously? Seriously? Oh my god! フォンタルレティクルでっか。ああ、ほら、レティクル恐怖症の人が来たよ。これは、僕のせいじゃない。レティクル、なんかでかくねって言う人がいたから、レティクルでかくして、不透明にしました。ああ。みんな喧嘩をやめなよ。どっちにも入りたくない。ねえ、どっちにも入りたくない、僕。ねえ、どっちにも入りたくない。なんかツイッターでも見ようかな、じゃあ。下げのちょっとデイリーやってくるわ。じゃあ戻れない。閉められた。僕は閉じ込められた。じゃあここから飛び降りる。
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
じゃあもうゲームやめる？やめる。じゃあ。もうやめよう、ゲーム。もうやめる。ゲームやめるって言ってやめないっていう逆張りを期待してる人たちのことを逆張りでゲームやめるの。終わり。ああ、全然やるつもりだったのにな。なんか。やっぱゲームやめるって言われて、じゃあ逆張りでやめないっていうのを期待してるから、じゃあゲームやめるし。リップ。フロンツ。誰かフランツって人が死んだんだ。Do not alter. with heart. ポンズ。おつあも？お疲れ様？まあ、そんなにやってほしいならやってもいいけど。そんなにさ、終わらせたいって言うなら。まあやってもいいけどね、別に。そこまで言うなら、やってあげてもいいよ。ほら。ほら。お金ありがとう、赤い女、天才へ。嬉しい。お金ありがとう。ありがとう。頑張れる。Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. フロア4階。誰か死んでんだよな。これ全部ちゃんとしたの書いてあるのか、もしかしたら。ほうほう。ほうほうほうほう。 ほんほんほん。うわあ、サクセス。あ、ボート。クリアスキン。What are your dreams for the future? Tips for not getting fail. Progress. Do unbelievably. How to solve a dispute with a coworker. なるほどね。ホワイトもそう思います。Using slides. Make sure your slide has a slick blue. Everyone is unique. You most of all. I think so that too. Number of slides on this slide. Start and slide. ブルームクローゼット。
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
こと何かあるってこと？
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet.
これは
No reason to still
こ
be
れは何かを
here.
隠したいからそう言ってるってこと。
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing
うるさいな。ちょっと大きくしたい。
sweet FA.
絶対何か取れる。
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Are you confused? 絶対何かあるってことなんだこれは。
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
No, but I think this broom closet important things.
Maybe to you this is somehow its
In this
own
room.
branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really stupid.
What?
He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how
Excuse me?
stupid he is. That or with drug money.
Yeah.
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yeah, that's correct. まあ僕のことじゃなくて、
Well,
スタ
I've
ンリー
come
の
to
こ
a
とだ
very
から。
definite conclusion about what's going on right now.
Ah.
You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored
Na
it a
ruhodo
bit,
ne.
and were just about to
Ah,
leave
boku tte
because there's
shindeta
nothing here, when a physical melody of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard.
物置
Well,
エ
in
ン
a
ド。
situation like this,
やっぱいる
the
よな。
responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
でもやっぱ物置エンドが一番好きって言ってくれる人がいてよかったな。これってジャンプスペースか。 ジャンプできない。この場所だからっていうのがある。これ逆張り。僕は、なんで、なるほどね。おかしくない？ずれてる、この黄色の部分。気づいて？この黄色の部分ずれてますよ。もうないかな。なんかレンチとか欲しいのにな。
Second player. Good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came
Hi, I am
before
coming.
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
もうなさそうじゃない？うわー、待って、会話全部こいつから出して。ジャンプできないな。ジャンプする時があるって。
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
うわー！こういうのってさ、取れないのかな？なんかいかにも取れそうな感じなんだよね。
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
I am crazy!
None of it made any logical sense.
Maybe!
And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream.
This is all a dream.
Relief Stanley felt
I'm
to have
dreaming.
finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream.
Yeah,
Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up.
No!
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
I'm crazy. It's
I
dream.
am okay.
I'm crazy.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Okay, it's me.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. Then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
あなたは AED を。あなたは救急車をお願いします。夢？
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
マリエラエンド。じゃあマリエラタンとカップルになったんだ僕は。
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
これ僕の言うこと全部肯定化してくれるからいい人なのかも。この声の人。じゃあこの声に名前をつけよう。コンタルト。じゃあ、竹中。
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
竹中。これ。 お、こんな
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room.
す
A
ごい。
room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings.
コーヒ
Really
ーな。
worth it.
こいつ、竹中っていう。よろしくね、みんな。
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why
僕
everyone
の人
left.
格のひどいよ。そんなこと言わないで。僕の人格のせいでみんな消えたって言いたいの。
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue. But when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
What's message? 竹中。What do you say? 竹中は僕に何を伝えたいんだい？言ってごらん。フィッシュ竹中。フィッシュ竹中の兄弟だよ、こいつは。フィッシュ竹中じゃないから、インセクト竹中。ないよ、何も。出たくない。もっと困らせたい。
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
入ってくださいって書いてある、これ。
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left.
かわいい。悩んでる、竹中。
Oh, no. No, it's to the right. My mistake.
It's okay.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Okay.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left,
I don't care.
down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
これ、トゥルーマンショー？ビビってないな、今の大丈夫。これ、車乗って脱線路はないですか？渡した？
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
104の人が脱落してた。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
し
mean?
かも
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
切れてる。
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
電源も消せないよ。レティクルが気になる。レティクルがでかすぎる。それがいいんだろうが。わかったよ。会話は大事ですからね。人を受け入れるってことも。ジョーのお気に入り、誰？じゃあ、プラズマライフルにしよう。ここはどこ？やはり対話が大事。対話をすれば分かり合えるのですよ。はい。
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
No.
Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Okay. It's my story. Oh my God.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
No, you don't need restart again. 窓がない部屋でスタンリーは
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
は波
Stanley
平の
decided to
部
go
屋
to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
うんふん。いつやったるか。へんてかいき。みみみ、もねむむ、むむむむむむ。
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Yeah, I want. But no.これはこうやってここを叩く。で、415を叩いて進むと進むって書いてあった。で、あとここウィキに書いてあった。で、ここをしゃがむ。
Aha! I knew we'd miss something.
ほ
The
ら
story. Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
オッ Okay. Oh my. OMG. I think this is your room, right? This is. I think.
Now this. Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Yay!
Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
Thank you.
Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time.
No!
I have to restart.
Ah!
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
じゃあ僕は逆張りだから、逆を向いて進む。あ、やべ、気持ち悪い。はい。はい。え？なんだ？行きたいよ、こっち。今僕が恐れてるのは、また、スタンリー死亡説が、死亡エンドになるということ。でも、やだ。僕は、さあ、ルフィ。僕はルフィ。
No, no, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
自分の道を自分で切り開く。それが人道だ。竹中。でも僕は竹中を、頭の中の声として船に乗せるということに決めた。ね。大丈夫さ。前に進もう。
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
よーそだ。
Here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Oh my god. Ta ta ta. やばい、遡っていってる。たたたたたたたたたら。ふうふうふう。へいへいへい。おかしくなっちゃったんだ、竹中。
Wait, cut the music.
Huh?
Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will
シダっ
be
て
very
何？
important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
まあいいよ。シダよくわかんないし。
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No, no. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Huh? So, I thought password on, oh my, wow! ね、そのさ、植物のこと言うてるのかな？わからないよね。Oh.
Still missing the doors. Did we make a mistake following the line? Perhaps we could have found the story on our own.
おかしくなっちゃった。あ、新しく扉が開いてる。扉開け。違う、これこっから来たんやん。飛び出せるよ、今。もう、二人だか。わー。
Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
601番もだ。104と6。おい、竹中。
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us?
Okay.
We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. This all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Alright, I'm go.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything.
Exciting.
What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for
love
it.
story. So Stanley loves Takenaka. Takenaka loves Stanley. Oh my god. I can't go out. Help me. Oh, okay. これだんだんちっちゃくなってんだ。これ、 クラピカが言ってた。片手をついて、こう回っていくんやな。答えは沈黙。
Oh no, not you again. Stanley,
おい、
I'd also like to veto the
選
line
べ、
from having any
竹中。
role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it. We should be fine.
選びなさい。崖から落ちそうになっている。お金とうんち。君はどっちを選ぶのかな？お金とうんち。君はどっちが大切なのかな？答えは沈黙。どちらを選んでもいけない。
We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
No. どっちも一緒よ。竹中？
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined?
じゃああなたも。
So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really?
ついにスタンリーが死ぬ。
No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
Yeah, I won't do it too.
Stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you do... All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Takenaka is here. Oh. Eh? これあと3回あるってこと？さっきさん。このエンドもあるやん、絶対。
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. What a beautiful room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
また同じことが起こるこれ。
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
これでも全くさっきと同じことが起こってる。
not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
また混乱エンドこれもしかして。
Now, let's see. We went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay.
だってこの竹中リセットされたもんね。
This story is absolutely, definitely this way. No,
思い出してよ、竹中。
no, this isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so
竹
far
中
off
僕
track.
のこと覚えてないの？
Okay, from the top. All of his co-workers were gone. What
覚え
could
て
it
ないん
mean?
だ。
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
ね。でもあそこで話は終わりなのかな。扉がいっぱいある
When
でしょ。
Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
ねえ、思い出してよ。あんなに僕たち愛をささやき合ったじゃん。その記憶もなくなっちゃったの。
Was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere.
僕たち二人でタイムカプセル埋めたりしたよね。
Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
卒業したら、あの桜の木の下に埋めたタイムカプセル二人で、さあ掘り起こそうって約束したじゃん。なんで忘れちゃったの？そうよ。やばい。迷
I'll
子っ
say
た。
it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here
Yeah,
before.
I know.
Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
あ
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So next, we can't see door. Everything go. Look.
Okay, yep, it's
Oh
worse.
my
I might be remembering this
goodness.
wrong. It's possible the story is
でもさっ
back
きは
where we
18
just
分かかっ
came
てたか
from.
ら、
Why
さ
don't
っ
we
き
go
より
back
は、
the other direction and see if we missed anything?
早く進めてるはず。
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No,
No.
wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so.
止まりだ。
I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's correct.
Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed
Okay,
to be doing,
restart!
how about this? You win!
と
Congratulations!
いうことでね、なんか混乱エンドを2回やりましたが、なんとかクリアすることができてよかったです。まあ、やっぱ逆張りっていうのは健康にいいですからね。皆さんもなんか体調悪いなとか、最近ちょっと寒くなってきたから風邪気味だなみたいな時はお薬を飲む前に一回逆張ってみて、自分の体調をね、どんな感じかなっていうのを測ってから、病院に行くなりなんなりしてみてください。逆張り健康法っていうの僕本もね、3冊出しているので、よかったら今度4冊。4冊目出すのでね、サイン会とかもやりますので、よかったら、いろんなパルコとツタヤ回りますので、よかったら来てくださいね、皆さん。
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way,
僕は逆張りをするようになってから肌の調子が良くなりまして、体重も35キロ痩せました。そして髪の毛も伸びました。逆張りしたい。なんか逆張りできなくないこれ。
Not sure where I was going with all that.
どうやって逆張りすればいいの？
I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
健康になりたい。あ、出た。
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern.
ファームって言ってた。これ
Stanley,
か。
this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10、11、12、13、14、15、16、17、18、19、20、21、22、23、24、25、26、27、2億6056本葉っぱが生えてます。
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? After we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Well, I can't take this anymore.
Employee.
Restart.
これ扉閉めるんやろ?
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Oh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Yeah.
Now, yes, this is exciting.
So,
just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be?
A love story.
Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it. We should be fine.
突然に変わりそう。僕もそう思ってた。だって、どこにも居場所のない日々に。逆張りをしてみた。チョコレートフォンズ。I mean you 変わる出会い。逆張り。一緒に逆張りをしよう。逆張りして。
Which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley. Our destiny awaits. Oh, hold up. What's this?
でも17分だよ。
The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending.
でもこれ
And we're
なかっ
supposed
た
to
よね。
restart the game
これやりたい。
eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined?
もういいよ。
So now, according to the
Again,
schedule, I
Uncle.
restart again. Then what? Am I
あな
just
たは
supposed
消え
to
てしまうん
forget?
だよ。
Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing wall.
こんばんは。
Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in
混乱エ
all
ン
of
ドっ
this?
てこと
Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I
No,
don't want to
I
forget
want
what's going
game.
on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it.
だか
I
ら
won't
竹中も
do
多
it.
分上位存在
And the timer stopped? Does that
上位
mean
存在にやら
did
れ
we
てん
do
だ。
it? Did we break the cycle?
やっぱ上位
The,
存在っていいよな。
whatever it is that
いえ
made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you do...
じゃあもうさっきのを見て本当にガチでリスタートになったんやな。リスタートになったん
All
や
of his
な。
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
あ、でも今度はパソコンついてるけど、サードは入れられない。
When Stanley
全
came
く
to a
逆
set
張
of
りし
two
ないで
open
やっ
doors,
てみ
he
たら。
entered the door. This was
嫌だ。
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to
でも
business,
ここ曲がりま
Stanley
せん。
took the first open door on his left.
やりたい。
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
あ
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
正しい道
Stanley
に戻っ
decided to
ちゃ
go
っ
up
た。
to his boss's office, hoping he might find an... Coming to a staircase, Stanley
あれ、さっ
walked
き下に行っ
upstairs
たよ
to
ね。
his boss's office.
じゃあ上に行こうな。うわエグゼクティブバスルーム。超綺麗なトイレ。Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss stuff loses, then that's what the boss choose. 誰なんだここのボス。ボスは知ってる。怖っ。怖すぎんぎ。これ何？パンダに銃を向けている？スタンリーって言ってる。I'm Stanley. なんだよ。エレベーターが動いてる音かと思ったよ。
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Oh. だってスタンリーが知るはずないもんな。
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
もう一回むむいみやってみようか。なんかこの部屋にヒートが隠されてるのかもしれない。探してみよう。ん？ないない。やっぱ無意味しか考えられない。
It turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
なんだったっけ順番。まあ、いっか。ない。やっぱり何も見えない。
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
マインドコントロールファシリティ、エスケープ。
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
僕は受け入れます。逃げない死から。
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted
僕は
effort
逃げ
to
ない
walk forward
死から。
and willingly confront his death.
受け入れます。じゃあみんな。I'll be back. うわー知りたくない。
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story. Trapped forever in his narrow vision of
僕は誰も殺してないです。
perhaps his death was of no
僕は
great
殺してな
loss,
い。
plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
やだ。
Farewell, Stanley.
やだ。やだ。やだ。やだ。やだ。やだ。やだ。いや。
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
ダンガーロンバ
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
これはエンディングの設定。ちょっと待って。違うか。さっきのなんか混乱エンドでさ、オフィスのフィギュアを見るみたいな、あったよね。飛ぶ棚。飛んでない。オフィスのパソコン。こんなの見てない。オフィス。ボタンの音。こんなのしてないけど。上司のオフィス。こんな種類あったの？
Then he pushed the number 4.
なんか
Where were all of his co-workers? Oh, I don't know. How about they're throwing a surprise party for him for all his button pushing? Does that sound plausible to you? Nothing there? Shoot. Well, try the other one then.
じゃあこれが正規ルートってこと？正規エンディング？フリーダムエンド。カウントダウンデスク。フリーダムエンド。ミタールームエレベーター。カウントダウンルーム。ゲームデザイン。死にな。スタンリーのオフィス。ね、経年変化？あ、なるほどね。ナレーターのメール。Congratulations! Congratulations! わ光線地帯。開発当初、私たちはスタンリーがエイリアンと戦場で戦うエンディングをデザインしました。見たいんですけど。このアクションゲームは知覚を持ち始め、ナレーターと戦うことになるのです。私たちは作り始めてすぐにこれはゲームのトーンに対し冗談が過ぎるということに気づきました。見たかったな。こっからは出れないってことでいいか にゃ。もうじゃあ終わったんだ、僕のスタンリーは。楽しかったな。パソコンポチーだけ全部やりたかったな。あ、え？怖い。これ、何が起こる？え？じゃあ、終わりかな？え？いいのかな？いいよね。もう一度始めるにしても。
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
よろしく。お願いします！
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
Yeah, I see.
No, perhaps not. Sometimes
あな
these
たは、
things
じゃ
cannot
あ
be
竹中よ
seen.
りも上位存在ってことね。
But listen to me. You can still save those two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
夢？
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
なんかあ
Perhaps
の
he had
人、
simply
いい
missed a
人そうだ
memo.
ったな。でも。エスケープをして、ここから逃げなさい！このゲームを終了しなさいって言ってた。カル猫みたいに。ほらー！終了
When
しな
Stanley
さい！
came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
うわ
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
なんか物を拾ったことなかった。Do not jump.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. to put your work aside, to let her back into your
あ
life.
なたの人生に
She's
取り
been
戻す
waiting.
のです。彼女は待っていますよ。
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
これで15秒待てばいいんだよ。タバコ？
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one...
あれ？
Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley,
Yeah.
did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly.
ごめん。
I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action.
OK。
How is that even possible?
じゃあリスタートし
None
よ
of
う。
these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I
ね、
can't
自
believe
分だ
it.
けで解決
How
し
had
な
I
い
not
で。
noticed it sooner?
僕にもさ、教え
You're
て。
not Stanley. You're a real person.
No! I am
I can't
Stanley!
believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to
No,
make correct and
no.
incorrect choices.
I'm
And to think
Stanley.
I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely.
please.
It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol
No, I'm
for
Stanley.
real-world
Hi.
decision-making. Or did you
Takenaka,
not grasp
I'm
the severity
Stanley.
of the situation?
Please
Well, I
trust
won't have
me.
that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the
No,
real world. Please
insect
observe this helpful
Takenaka.
instructional video.
I'm...
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous.
わかりまし
For
た。
example, in this scenario, a hypothetical
Hi,
real
Rupert.
person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across
Oh,
the world
insecto.
to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic.
わかり
If
ま
you
した
find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back sack and crack."
おう 430?
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Eh? 戻ってきちゃった。戻ってきちゃったよ。
know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Oh. Ah! また戻ってきたよ。
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending. The story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
よし！円盤猫？ねえ、やだ。僕は敷かれた親父が敷いたレール。やだ。
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
3.141929 世界が壊れてる。あ。あ。あ。収縮が始まってる世界の。慣れた親父。そんなこと言ってないんですけど。偽造文章やめてください。
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe after everything we talked about that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
ごめんね。
I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you. You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make... Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
これ、もういけないのかなってもう怒られもしなくなっちゃった。
Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine.
わかりました。
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
こっちってことでしょ。もういいです。僕は敷かれたレールをずっと歩かなきゃいけないんだ。
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
下にも行けなくなってる。
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. え Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
5
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
ナイトシャーク115。
I'm sorry, is there a problem?
トララレトラララ。
Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
ナイトシャーク115。チンパンジーニバナニーニ、カプチーノアサシーノ、カプチーノバレリーナ、ボンバルディーノクロコディーノ。
Only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
No! Stanley! ダメだ、言っちゃ。
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this?
裁判。
Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's
ご
all
めんね、
right.
リロイ。
I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
夢？
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself.
違う。
That's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
よし、これ全部パスワード集めるまでやりたい。
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I'm probe. I'm powerful.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone.
なんか
Finally,
喋ってることが
this is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
I wanna prove I'm brave. ねえ、さっきのさ、電話を
When
取
Stanley
るエ
came
ン
to
ド
a set of
もやり
2
たいん
open
だよ
doors, this
ね。
was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the
ない
employee
ピン
lounge
チです。
first,
あ
just
と
to
10
admire it.
分で家を
The
出なく
lounge
ちゃ
was grand, majestic.
家を出
Perhaps,
なく
but
ちゃ
eager to
遅
get back
刻
to
し
business,
ちゃい
Stanley
そう
took the
です。
first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following
逃げる
directions,
西
it's
風
incredible he
本
wasn't
気
fired
出し
years
たな。
ago.
これさ、
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy,
これいける
really
かな？
I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten. Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Okay!
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Okay!
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Okay!
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles?
いや、僕
Skill
は
trees?
全部パ
Work
スワー
with
ド
me,
入れ
you've
た
given me
エンドを
absolutely
見たい。
nothing so
これエン
far.
ドいくつあんの？
Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
うわ！だってさ、もうここにすでにさ、3つのさ、分岐があるってことでしょ？
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
これ何？ RTA ってこと？ This is you. 僕7時間もやってんの？
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right. And if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
10時間プレイしろって言ってる。
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
I love baby!
Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas.
But
I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you up high in your great tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose.
肝タワー？
Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
わあ。おー。そこになんかあったの。すごいこのゲーム、別ゲーがさあいっぱい遊べる。さっきの赤ちゃんのも合わせて2個。これは星5です、評価。僕はこういう自然。なんで？僕はこういう自然のゲームで遊びたかったんです。
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
ジョニー・レイク。なんで？
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You really wandered off into that thing, that big open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice.
壁は乗り越えるためにあるんだよ。ってなんか
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
わあ、サッカーだ。
Wonderful. See, this is exactly
ロ
what I
ケ
had
ッ
in
トリ
mind.
ーグだ。
Just a nice big box for you to
これ
run
いい
around.
大丈夫
There
同
isn't
じ
any
会社
possibility that you could get
し
lost
かも見
here.
て
Now
僕車だから
this is game design.
低くなってる目
Stanley, if
線。
you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun!
Wow, sports
We should
ball!
run the bases and do a touchdown together.
I won't do it.
Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun. Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought.
待って、どん
And
どん
I
速くな
realize
って
I'm
る
not a。sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes.
Oh!
Oh goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a
ね、
child
だ
in
ん
a
だん速くなって
confectionery
ってる。
shop.
しかも
I
動いてる
simply
のが。
have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls.
おお。ゴール。
Are you enjoying this, Stanley?
Yeah,
Having fun?
I'm
Is this a
enjoying.
real video game?
I'm so
Well, I sure hope you're
exciting.
having a good time, because guess what? It's over.
Eh?
That's right. Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to
Nah.
set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing.
Nah.
Yes, that's what I am. I'm structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So,
怒んな
goodbye,
いでよ。
Stanley.
ね、
I'm
好
leaving.
きだか
See
ら
how。you like it when
ね
I'm
え
not around
だ
to set
け
the
なん
rules.
か。
Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best. Take care, Stanley.
No, you don't leave me. どっかにいなくなっちゃった。じゃあ死ぬか。バイバイ。
Hold on. What are you doing? Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Oh. これ、そのまんまだ。さっき僕たちが通ってきたところの。 ほら。これ右のドアと左のドア。あ、ここから戻ってオフィスに戻るのかな。明かりがついてる。あ、死にな。え、なんだ？特に何もない。これ僕のオフィス。やばい、酔ってきた。お。
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
うわ、あ、待って、違うエンド行っちゃった。さっきの見たかった。イブ？え？え？戻ってる。押しても戻っちゃう。わっしょい。わっしょい。わっしょい。わっしょい。わっしょい。わっしょい。わっしょい。わっしょい。わっしょい。これって終わりですか？もう。有識者の方、教えてください。教えてくださったら、逆張りをやめます。お願い、教えてください。逆張りをやめ やめます。これはもう僕は死んだということなんですか？スタンリーはヘブンって言っていました。これは初めて見た。僕が初めて到達した人なのかも。逆張り高校中退ですか？はい、逆張り幼稚園幼卒です、僕は。じゃあ、ちょっと、これねさ、今日寝てみる？ずっと止まってたら、なんか動くかもしれない、これ。どう思う？これねさ、きっとさ、1時間ここにとどまるとかさ、ありそうじゃない？なんか探すのかな？だってずっとわっしょいわっしょい言ってるよね。わっしょーい。わっしょーい。わっしょーい。わっしょーい。わっしょーい。わっしょーい。これ本当に終わりそうだね。終わりっぽいね、これね。やだ、でも。わかった。あ。待って。さっきのさ。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content?
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
So
far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or oh, here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Let's go!
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as
No,
if
no, no,
Oh,
no.
okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Huh?
All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle. Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Yeah, but it is fun, I think, because I like jump, right? So, but I'm bored. Yabai, 親指が痛い。6、5、4、3、2。Congratulations! あえ特に祝うわけでもなく、終わった。絶対イエーイが流れると思ったのに、課金になってお祝いしてくれると思ったのに。
It's just elevators and jumping.
Yeah.
Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content.
これって多分さ、
There's more. Very good. Yeah.
さっきの天国に行く前の続きなのかな。
Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Thank you for enjoying the new
That's
content.
it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this?
もう竹
I'm
中が
infuriated
怒る
and
コ
I'm
ンテンツ
offended,
だ
and
これ。
I intend to
竹
find these
中の
people
怒
on
りを見
Twitter
る
and hold
コン
them
テンツだ。
personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley.
ありがとう、
I built up
竹
too
中。
much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such
I don't
expectations.
afraid.
If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about.
But
No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like
yeah,
always.
just you and
What do
me.
you say, friend?
なんか死にな。
Psst! Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
いうこと聞く？オーマイ。
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe
Then
content
what
turned
was
out
it?
to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Wow.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video
この
games
今
had
のゲームの
integrity.
前任の
Back
ゲー
then,
ム
it
のことを
all
言って
meant
るのか。
something. Oh, the waste.
こういうゲームだったんだ。なんだこれは。辞書。あ、アワードを取ったと。うわー、え、これ違うゲームなんじゃない？グッドタイムズ。え？これも今のゲームじゃん。メモリーレーン。1ドル札。あ、こういうゲームだったんだ、前のゲーム。Go Outside。うなちえバブル。お、えわ
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end
10
up
点
less
中
than
10 レ
any
ビュ
form
ーだ
of
ったんだ。
art.
なんか
Stanley
よくわかん
Parable
ないサイト
strives
で。
and then succeeds to be every game ever created."
本当にあったの
Did you
全
hear that,
人
Stanley?
ゲーム。
Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable
なんか全部
was.
信じられ
It
ない
was
このゲー
literally
ム。
every game ever created. It was
Skyrim.
Skyrim. It was Persona 3.
ペルソナ
It was
3
all
知
of
ってん
them.
の？
And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk
ね。
now. A lifeless husk with
だか
an
ら全
hour
人
of
ゲー
new
ムすらない
elevator
かもしれない。
content.
Why? Person of the Year. Oh. It's me and 女。これマックだ。
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and
で
one
も
that
この
offers
後
some
ろ
of the most
姿を見ると
enjoyable,
さ、このデラッ
surprising
ク
and
スバージョン
rewarding
だよね、多
choices
分。
I've ever been confronted with in a
オープ
game.
ニングと一緒
9
だ
out
よ
of
ね。
10. Don't you get it, Stanley?
9
The
点。
game
本
was
当だ。
perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the
赤と青の
hallowed
部屋。
hall of beloved video game memories. These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no.
Steam.
God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years.
やば
I
い。
can't even imagine what's been collecting down here.
スチームってこ
Surely
ん
these
な
reviews
お
were
見た目だっ
glowing
た
as
んだ。
well, weren't they?
おーおはははスチームのレビュー。一応いいのもあるけど。
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion.
さらされてますよ。
The narrator is
気づいて
obnoxious and
レビューさらされてますよ。
with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Funny. I'm not trying
Oh,
to be
because-
funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
やっぱ良くないよ、スチームは。 わ、いっぱいある。わあ、not
Okay, let's see
recommended.
what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
Yeah, I
You can
love.
tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness.
Oh, you're
This is actually
pretty.
quite shocking for
You're
me.
pretty.
I always, well, to be honest, I
Oh,
had
my
always
God,
thought of the
wow.
game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and
本
airy
当は
as
もっ
it...
と
Well,
喋りたか
I
っ
always
たの
thought
か
it
な。
did, but maybe it wasn't.
え、
Dear. What an
悲しい、
awful
落ち込
memory
ん
to
で
have
る
to。hold on
で
to.、
これで
These black
巧み
marks
に
are
誘
my
導するんじゃ
otherwise
ない？
unimpeachable track record.
チームでいいレビューを書いてくださいって。
Like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening.
あ
I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
ー、オッケー。
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to be... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes. It's not unendurable by any means, but it's... There's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was.
ってことはこのさ、さっきさ、なんか紹介されてたさ、このめっちゃ収録大変そうだね。
Slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave. Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment. And I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way.
3、40分喋ってましたねとか言ってる3、40分。本当に3、40分だったね。やばい。絶対押さないから大丈夫。
Wait here for me and don't press the skip button.
絶対押さないよ。
Yes, good. I'll be right back.
でもあなたの声が聞こえなくなるなら別よ。
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there.
30分
I
しか
don't
経
know
っ
why
て
the
ないと思
skips
っ
are
たけ
getting
ど。
longer, but they're really, truly getting longer. And my God, there's no way out of the room. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time, just sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single... Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world, as though there were no consequences for
なんで竹中がいるときといないときがあるんだ。もう椅子の前に一応もうずっといるのやめたのかな。
The end is never the end, 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 is never the
end is never be, 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 end is never be. Ah, end is never be, 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 and 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 is never be. This is Halloween, this is Halloween, 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 Halloween. This is Halloween, this is Halloween, this is Halloween. This is Halloween, this is Halloween, this is Halloween, this is Halloween.みんなみんなみんな登れない。確かに湖だったのに。みんな僕が王様でいい
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it.
というわけで、
人類は
消え、この世界は朽ち、僕が王様になったということで。
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you. You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be.
やばい、これ永遠にできるやん、このゲーム。だって今考えてるだけで選択肢30ぐらいあるで。
I say we take it one step even further, which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2.
Wow!
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully-fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities that could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Wow!
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
うわ、これおしゃれ。ザ・スタンリー・パラブル。ここだけ赤くなって、英語の2になってる。
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Meeting plan. スクリム デザインピッチブレイク。おしゃれ。いっぱい考えてんだ。しかもさ、ちゃんとノートパソコンとか、Mac じゃない。ついけないんだ。うわーお。最近 TikTok でさ、なんかマシューくんって男の子がいてさ、お母さんがさ、うわー、マシューくんのご飯美味しそうって毎日ご飯の前に言うと、なんかテレビとか見てたり、ゲームとかしてるマシューくんが、4歳ぐらいかな。でもニコニコ笑顔で椅子に座るっていう、でご飯を食べるっていうのが、それいつも。
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
うわー。Okay. Oh, you're Stanley?
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Well, Happy 12th Birthday. 出れないんすけど。うわー、マッシュくんのご飯美味しそうって言ったらマッシュくんが自分の席について。で、お母さんがね、一つずつ説明するの。これは梅しその揚げ物。だからマッシュくんが、って言いながら聞くのよ。これはご飯、Happy 12th birthday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get well someday it is.
こっちつったじゃん。うわ。いつか元気になるように。
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
あ、出た!
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle.
そうだよ、全部ジャンプしたんだよ。
Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
この話がずっと繋がってんだよ。てか、じゃあ、ルートが一番長かったね。そのコンテンツが面白くないっていうルート。
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game.
Okay.
It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
OK だと笑っている僕が。だから持って帰っちゃうもんね、このバケツ。もらえますからね。
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Free new plus easy. これがスタンリー？
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unlimited.
みんなが欲しがってる。It's mine! キャッチ。Collect them all.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
じゃあもらうか。
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes, you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you. And I promise it will happen.
じゃあ、あのレバーを引くとアチーブメントがもらえるようになる。
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
こっち見てないと思うんだけど。ここって来た道？
Stanley,
Wow.
here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling.
Infinity fall.
The end of time. If you want. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to get back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things. Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just... that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
これ行かないってこともできるのかな？地上に戻りたくない。 一晩ぐらいここで寝てもいいでしょ。ダメみたい。
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sea. Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
Okay.
Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. It's more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch.
短すぎるやろ、これ。
Who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
生まれてってる。マイクオンにしながら。ジャンプできない。え？え？怖い。だけなんか僕はいつまでバケツを持ってるんだよ。僕はいつまでバケツを持ってるんですか？視点を変える？おお、持ってないバケツ。うわ、かっけえ認識？ わかる？最初の曲がいいんだよね。出てこないんだよ。これでもさっき聞いたよな、この曲。え？え？ちょっともうちょっと遊ばせてよ。
It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole. And I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
来た！え？
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features. For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath,
Stanley.
clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love. Jim. Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim, playing frisbee on the weekends as Jim, staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as Jim, developing... All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
Get low.
See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says, but no. Instead, I can't even think about it. I'm taking the Jim button away.
Jim. ジムが取られた。なんか低くね？僕のチーム。もう全部回った気するけどな。
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable 2. An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
ティングワールドチャンピオン。どういうことやね。セッティングワールドチャンピオンってどういうことやねん。セッティングワールドチャンピオンってどういうことやね。セッティングワールドチャンピオンってどういうことやね。セッティングワールドチャンピオン、セッティングワールドチャンピオン、セッティングワールドチャンピオンってどういうことやね。もう全部見た気がするけどな。あ、エグゼットって書いてある。エグゼットさせていただいてもよろしいですかね。あった。じゃ、位置抜けさせてもらいますわ。うちも。
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted
Yes.
to? Ready to move on now?
誰か忘れてますよ。このバケツ本当にもらっていいんすか？ニューマーク。もらっていいならもらっちゃいますけど、バケツ。言葉に甘えて。
What do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul.
ね、多分さ、選んだ道がすごい長い道だったんだろうな、僕の。
Let's do an experiment.
でも、
I'll arrange these new
こん
features
なさ、
together, and we'll
ゲー
see
ム一つ
whether
に
or
さ、
not
こん
it
な
coheres into a
詰め
meaningful
込めるもんなん
gameplay
だね。
experience.
永遠に終わんないじゃん。
Okay.
コスパ良すぎない？
Here it is.
ゲームをコスパという観点で見ていいのかわ
The
かんないけ
Stanley
ど。
Parable 2.
うわ
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's
ー。いや
sort of... Okay, never mind.
すごい簡略化してる。さっきと。
Okay, yes, this is much
す
better.
ご
I
い。
feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
おー。
Who am I kidding, Stanley?
ちゃんとあそこにあっ
This
て、
isn't
バ
a
ケツもあっ
coherent video
て、
game at all. It's
ジ
a
ャン
lot
プ
of
サークルもあっ
gaps.
て、
And I do very much
永
enjoy
遠に終わら
creating
ない
games, but
穴
they
もあ
don't
っ
add up
て、
to anything.
アチーブメントもある。
I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead.
Okay.
Take a look. This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job
風船が増
was
えて
simple.
た。
He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly
さっきさ、一番初めにさ、俺スキップしちゃったから、いいんじゃない？
And then one day, something very peculiar happened.
え、そう？
Something that would forever change Stanley. something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What?
Stanley picked up the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I'd never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket.
I married Bucket.
Over the years.
Bucket is my son and my daughter and my parents.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go.
Oh my god.
There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
もっとさ、いろいろ貼ってほしい。バケツに。
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate.
Wow.
You see? I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
でも、貼ってほしい。次、かわいいのがいい。
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
ねえ、もうちょっと、ステッカー貼って。 もうちょっとステッカー貼ってよー。
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Yes, I can do it.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion
Thank you,
and
bucket.
chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes. This is certainly the most logical explanation.
バケツがあることによって正しいルートに。Wow.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier
Yeah,
name for these things.
It's
What about
okay.
mini stands? Stanley figs. What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Stanlerine. Wow. Okay.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Everything is fine.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
大丈夫だよ、バケツ。全部良くなるよ。大丈夫だよ、バケツ。なんでみんながいなくなったの、オフィスの。その答えはないよ。
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raised
バケツ
furiously
のや
in
りたいこと、
Stanley's
やり
fever
たくないことは何なんだろうか。僕はバケツにどんな言葉をかければいいんだろうか。 バケツは一体
No!
何がやりたい
Screamed into the bucket.
彼は
He
バケツの
couldn't
中に
accept
向か
it.
い
His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust
You
no
are
one
my friend.
except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
バケツは生意気にシステムを破壊してやる。
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and... What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty. Until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley went around touching every little... Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
というわけでね、ここから先は皆さんの目で正解をもうわかんない。何が正解なのか。この先に何が待っているのか。
But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
話が進んだ。これでさ、あっち行ってさ、電話エンド行って終わりにしようじゃん。
Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top.
これ全部バケツが言ってることになるんだ。
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
なるほどね。だって帰りは
said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here.
もうちょっと
Stanley once again
ちょっと可愛い
obeyed
声だ。
blindly.
来た。
Now pick up the phone, said the bucket. Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
オッケー。バケツがそう言うな
This
ら。
is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and
Bucket'sないよ。
needed a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
あ、バケツ。ハロー、スタンリー。僕だよ、君のバケツだよ。僕を君と戻すために P を押して。
The Stanley Parable reassurance bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
僕を君の家へ連れて帰るために C を押して。
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
本題へ戻るために H を押して。
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen
Yeah.
to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one
でも話し
location
てた
to
も
a
ん。
different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
このうるさい男の言うことは聞くな。僕たちが家へ帰るために C を押して。
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders
Buckets?
from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders
Buckets?
from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
君の人生で僕以外全員を無視するために K を押して。K ってどれ？これ？
It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
僕が実在するって信じてるんだよね、スタンリー。家へ帰るために G を押して。
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one
だんだん
room
み、
to
う
another.
わ！だんだんみんな、バケツに洗脳されていってる。C を押すと、この同じ日を何度も何度も、僕と何度も何度も何度も何度も。
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
家へ仕事へ家へ仕事へ家へ帰るために O を押せ。ちょっと。
Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. No, no, no,
電気
no,
が
no,
止
no,
まっ
no,
て
no.
る。
What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this
み
troublesome
んなもうおかしく
situation.
なっちゃってる。
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give
No.
me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it.
目を閉じて。戻ろう、スタンリー。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
と
decided to
いう
go
わ
to the
けで
meeting
ね、
room. Perhaps he
バ
had
ケツ
simply
エ
missed
ン
a
ド
memo.
いかがでしたでしょうか。バケツは僕とず
The
っと一緒
confusion
にい
and the
る。
chaos
バケ
all
ツの
seemed
こ
to
とを
melt away
僕は
as
ずっと大
Stanley
事に生きて
embraced
い
the
こうと
bucket.
思います。皆さんもね、ぜひ自分だ
Stanley
けの
clutched
バ
the
ケツ
bucket
を
tightly to
見
his
つけて、
chest and
この
entered
世
the door
界
on
を
his
生
left.
きやすく生きていってくださいね。バケツと一緒にどこまでもどこも。これ困ります。永遠に遊べるゲームやめてください。というわけで、皆さん今日配信見てくれてありがとうございました。ちょっとこの続きはゆっくり面言でもやりましょう。永遠に終わらないこれ。すごくね？こんなボリューム。しかもこれを喋ってるんだ竹中さんってずっと収録してるんだよ。総時間2日間とか書いてあったよね、確かね。というわけで皆さん今日はお付き合いいただきありがとうございました。こんな夜遅くまで見てくれてありがとうございます。皆さんの夢にもバケツが現れますように。そして僕の夢にもきっとバケツは現れることでしょう。いい夢を見てくださいね、みんな。次の配信は決まってませんけど、土日にできたらやりたいと思います。この前さ、なんかさ、面言で話したんだけどさ、TikTok でさ、ずっと TikTok 流しっぱなしで寝ちゃったら、その夢を見たから、さ、カレーパンマンの TikTok を流しながら寝ようと思ったけど、寝たんだけど全然カレーパンマンの夢見れなかった。今日もチャレンジしたいと思います。さあみんな、よかったらチャンネル登録、高評価、Twitter のフォローよろしくお願いしますね。では皆さん、おやむにおつあも、さよらな、おつたたん、おつバーチャルハグでした。バイバーイ。